everyone. Welcome back in joining myself and Sports Singapore for another episode of Fitness at Home. We are going to be doing some yoga for back pain today. And I think this applies to a lot of us. It's not just when you're in pain that these movements are going to benefit you, but they do help to prevent the back pain in the first place as well. Now, for today's practice, and especially for those of you who are just starting out, you will need a stool to help you out with some of the poses that we're going to do here. And you're going to need a bath towel as well. Okay, listen out for the options. Option 1 is always going to be easier, and option 2 is always going to be slightly more challenging. All right, so listen to your body. The moment you feel like you're holding your breath or shallow breathing in order to do the movements, please just slow it down, take it down a notch, rest if you need to. You can rest in a seated position, or you can come into what we call child's pose to catch your breath, right? So take it as and when. And when we are breathing, when we're doing the poses here, when we're doing the movements, I'd like you to work on mindful breathing here. That is inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose like you're trying to say HA, but your mouth is closed, right? So in doing that, it's going to help me help you engage your inner core muscles, right? So that will include the horizontal muscles inside, inclusive of your pelvic floor, your diaphragm, your transverse abdominis, and several more, all right? So just understand that we are not just working on superficial muscles, but we do try to engage the deep breathing muscles as well. And in you trying to do a ha with your mouth closed, it's going to help us achieve that. Right, so let's come into a standing position first, right? You can hold onto your stool or your table or your chair or your wall to help you balance if the need arises. Okay, so let's come into a standing position at the front of your mat. I'm going to have you just keep your feet together with your big toes touching to start off with, and you're going to have your toes spread open. I'm going to have you take a step back with your left leg. So your right leg stays in front and your left leg is behind. All right, we're going to keep that front knee bent. And if you need to make it easier, take option 1 for a smaller distance between both feet, a smaller stance between both feet, right? And if you can, option 2, a wider stance. Notice that my back foot is turned in. So avoid having your toes turned out when you're doing that, right? So we'll try to get the back foot, toes turned in slightly. We're going to start off with the arms by the side. Now, first off, I need you to make sure that your breathing is going to be something that you're going to be mindful of throughout the whole movement, right? Shoulders are relaxed. And as we inhale, we're going to raise both arms up and straighten that front leg. Exhale, lower the arms down. What we're doing here is just warming up a lot of muscles that are going to be involved when we start to hold that static position, what we call warrior 1, all right? This is 4. And exhale, pressing down. 5. Notice that I'm not swinging my arms up and down. I'm not dropping my arms down. All right, I'm controlling as I lift my arms up and lower my arms down. All right, trying to move at the speed of my breath. All right, let's do 2 more here. All right, inhale, lift your arms up. And exhale, press your arms down. Let's take your knee to stay bent and we're going to raise both arms up. Now, if this is uncomfortable for you, please feel free to take option 1 and rest your hands on either sides of your hips, all right? I'm going to energize that back leg by strongly pressing down into my back foot, right? So don't just put so much weight on that front leg and very little on that back one, all right? Again, if you are able to, keep both arms up. So the earlier dynamic movements that we did do help you to introduce more fluids to your shoulders. It helps to lubricate your shoulders and work through a bigger range of motion as well. Holding still may look like it's easy, but it is not, right? So if you find that you're holding your breath here or you're shallow breathing, please just take a rest, straighten that front leg, maybe take a seat if you have to, all right? Now I'm going to have you slowly place your hands on your hips and then straighten that front leg before you bend that front back leg and hop forwards. We're going to do exactly the same thing on the other side now, right? So go ahead and have your right leg step back, left foot stays in front. Now, we are trying to get our chest and our hips to face the front as well, all right? So we're going to bend that front knee. I'm going to try to keep your spine more upright versus just arching your back here, right? At no point in time should you be feeling pain to your lower back. Arms extending down by the side. As you raise your arms up, take an inhale and straighten that front leg. And exhale, press the arms down. And again, 2. So we move with control to raise the arms up and lower them down. 3, we are not rushing. Exhale, lower slow. That way you're not using momentum to help you. Exhale, all the way as you lift up and as you lower down, you are engaging muscles, right? Let's do 5 more here, okay? Inhale, raise your arms up. And exhale, press to lower. 4 more times. Remember that breathing that I mentioned at the beginning? Continue to use it, okay? That Ujjayi breath. Exhale, let's do 2 more here, all right? Inhale, raising both arms up. And exhale, pressing the arms down. Keep your front knee bent. Arms are raising up. If you need to, remember the option is to rest your hands on your hips, all right? So avoid tensing up your shoulders while you're extending your arms up here as well, all right? I'm not even asking you to look up towards the ceiling because that can be more challenging for many of you when it comes to balance, right? So you either look forwards, right, or you look about maybe 5 meters in front of you on the ground. I'm not going to ask you to look so close towards you because the moment you do that, you're going to drop your head down towards the ground. You're going to round your back, right? So let's hold it here for another 2 more breaths. Where we look at will determine the position of our spine as well, okay? 1 more breath here. All right, I'm going to have you have your hands come together once again. Straighten that front leg slightly and push off with that back leg to come to the front. Shake your legs out. So staying still is actually not very easy at all, okay? We're going into the next movement here with your feet about hip-width distance apart. What I'd like you to imagine is that there's a chair behind you and you're going to try to take a seat, all right? The reason why we do this, all right, is to strengthen the muscles around the hips that helps to support your spine. Yes, today's practice is about back pain. It's about preventing and to help those of you who suffer from back pain. Unfortunately, the reason why a lot of back pain occurs is because the surrounding muscles that support the low back are weak, right? Including the muscles around your hips, your thighs even, right? So when we have a stronger structure that supports your spine, it helps a lot, okay? So here we are with our feet hip-width distance apart, and we're gonna shift our hips back as we extend the arms forwards. We're gonna start with a small movement here first. It's like you have a present, you wanna give it to someone in front of you. There's like a chair behind you, you wanna sit on it, then you change your mind, you come back up to stand. From the front, I have my feet hip-width distance apart. I'm gonna extend my hips back, arms forwards, exhale, drive down through the heels to come back up. So it's a chair pose, but we're gonna make it a dynamic one, okay? Let's do 10 here, right? Inhale, sit the hips back and down, and exhale, press down through the heels to come back up. Let's do that again. 2, and exhale, press down to come back up. And 3, exhale, and 4, exhale. Remember, it is with control that we go down. 5, and we press up. And I'm not locking my knees at all. 6, I'm going to keep a micro bend in my knees. Exhale. 7, press and lift. Last 3 to go. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. 1 more time here. Inhale, exhale. Now let's come down and we're going to hold it here for just 5 breaths, okay? Now if your shoulders, your arms are tired, rest your hands on your thighs, all right? But you want to be shifting your hips back and down instead of jutting your knees forwards. I need you to feel your hip muscles working, your glutes, your buttock muscles working, all right? So if you need to, rest your hands on your thighs or extend your arms forwards. We're going to hold it here for just 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. All right, press down through the heels and come back up to a stand. You get to come closer towards the ground now for the next couple of movements. But I'm going to have you have your towel and your stool handy, okay? So the towel is going to go towards the middle of the mat where it's going to support your knees. It's going to be a cushion for your knees. The stool is going to come towards the front to help you with balancing. All right, so I'm going to place it off towards the right side of my mat, and I'm going to step forwards with my left foot. I'm using a stool because for most of us, we don't have yoga blocks at home. In a studio, we use yoga blocks to help support us, right? If we don't have the mobility or the flexibility to extend our arms down towards the floor. So a stool, a short one, yeah, okay, can't be too high like a table. It's going to help you a lot, all right? Neither do you want it to be so flat like a book, all right? So we're going to shift the hips. Notice how far my foot has come forwards, all right? My left foot comes forwards, but the stretch is going to go towards the front of my opposite leg, my right hip, all right? So I'm going to rest my right hand on the stool as I shift my hips forwards. The reason why I want to rest my hand here is so that it helps me to be able to prop my spine to be more upright. my torso to be more upright, right? So that I can get that stretch along the front of my right hip. So we are actually stretching a muscle that will help to alleviate tightness around your lower back, right? Shifting the hips forwards and down, making sure that your shoulders are relaxed as well. And you hold it here for about 8 to 10 breaths. This is your low lunge. Of course, if your knee behind is not too comfortable, you can always work with folding your towel one more time for extra padding, right? Sometimes you just have to make an adaptation, a little bit of an adaptation, in order to do that same movement and still reap the benefits. Not all of us are going to be doing the movement the exact same way, right? For many of you who have been practicing for a while, you probably don't even need a towel to cushion your knee at all, or much less a stool to help you with supporting the arm and the torso. So work with it for a start. We have to start from somewhere, okay? And then eventually you probably don't need it. And then you can even have your fingers coming to touch the ground if your hips can come down that low, right? So, and if you can balance as well. You can have both hands on your thighs and maybe even both arms up. First start, this is gonna help us to feel a lot more steady, right? All right, now press down on the stool to come back, and then we're gonna step your left leg back. We're gonna shift the stool over towards the left side of the mat this time. And I'm gonna step my right foot forwards, right? So it's exactly the same as what I did earlier on. My knee is cushioned. If you need to, fold it one more time for extra padding, okay? And then you're gonna shift your hips forwards and down and rest your left hand this time onto the stool for support, for balance, right? And then the further forwards you shift your hips, the deeper the stretch to the front of your hip you're gonna feel here, all right? And I'm gonna hold it here once again for about 8 to 10 breaths. All right, stay right there. And this is one of those poses that I would recommend you to do every single day. Okay, so just little by little, you'll be able to stay there for a bit longer. And then it doesn't just end up being a stretch for your muscles. It helps a lot with your joints also. It helps a lot with the connective tissue as well. Right? Just make sure that you are not pushing yourself too hard too soon, because instead of bringing benefit to yourselves, you may end up bringing about discomfort and sometimes even injuries. So that mindfulness and knowing when to back off is very important. Let's hold it here for just one more breath. And then very slowly, we're going to push ourselves back up. Prop yourself with the stool if you need to, and come on back. I'm going to have you move the stool off to the side once again, so it's out of the way. And we're going to come into a seated position here, right? You're going to have your towel handy, but you are going to open it up all the way. So similar to yoga blocks, I assume most of you don't have yoga straps either. Actually, you can use a belt if you want to. It's just with the bath towel, it's most versatile, and everybody has it at home unless you don't bathe at home. All right, so we are going to have your right leg under, bent this way. Right leg is bent. Left foot, I'm going to try to bring it outside my right thigh. Now, if that doesn't work, you can always have your foot on the inside of the right leg instead. So option 1 is here. This is my right leg. This is my left. Option 2, I'm going to bring my left foot outside my right thigh. Whichever option that you take, both sides of your hips are level. All right, so try not to do this movement with a lopsided pelvis, okay? From here, this is my left knee. I'm going to have my towel placed under my left knee. This way. Just drape it across your right leg that's underneath, all right? Now, option 1, you probably will not use the towel actually, but just place it there first, right? We're going to hug that top leg. Right arm hugs the left knee. Right arm hugs the left knee. Left hand is behind to support you sitting up tall. And then you try and twist, looking back towards the wall behind you. This affects your lower back. This is a spine twist. Really great for helping to massage your internal organs as well. And for many of you, you're going to feel that stretch across the outside of your hip on that left side, whichever leg is on top. Option 2, you're going to bring your right arm across. Notice how much further I'm going into that twist once I'm able to do that, right? So push your right elbow against your left thigh. And then you try and grab hold of the towel here, right? So from there, I'm going to take my left hand behind and I'm going to try to grab hold of the towel as well. So left hand behind, grab the towel. If you cannot, notice that I took my right hand back to bring the towel towards my right hand first, towards my left hand first. I come back, I hold the towel again, right? Now from here, watch. I'm actually grabbing the towel in a way that my hand is on top. Not, my thumb is not in view. It is my knuckles that are in view, right? So from here, I'm gonna pull with my back arm. This is like a thread, needle and thread, okay? I'm gonna use my back arm and I pull again. I let go, I go further, I pull again. So now my arm that's in front, I'm getting a decompression, a stretch around this shoulder joint. I'm actually going further into the twist as well. So for those of you who suffer from a lot of tightness around the shoulders like myself, you're going to benefit a lot from trying to do something like this in a twist, right? So we're going to hold it here for just 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then very slowly release. Let's do the same thing on the other side, right? So now you get to see a different view. I'm going to have my left leg under. I'm going to have my right leg over. Remember option 1, Option 2, foot outside. Let's have your towel over the left thigh this time round, right? Option 1, you just hug that knee, support and twist. Option 2, hand goes behind, catch the towel. Arm goes in front, catch the towel. So you see your knuckles, not your thumb. I'm gonna pull and then walk, 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 and pull, right? And if you can, you go closer. Eventually, you may even be able to interlock your fingers, right? But for a start, right, this is for beginners, right? So most of you will probably not have that mobility around your joints or the flexibility around the muscles to be able to go that far yet. So just work with getting your hands to walk closer towards one another gradually, right? Got to start from somewhere, okay? Hold it there for another 3 more breaths and just quietly observing how you're breathing in this position here. 2 more deep breaths here. Now, I know you can't see your hips, but let's try to keep them level, all right? So you can feel. Over time, you start to develop more awareness of how you're using your body without even looking at what it is doing exactly. So your feedback becomes a lot better. All right, slowly come back towards the center once again. I'm gonna have you fold up your towel once more, uncross your legs, and just do a little bit of laundry work here, okay? Fold your towel so that it becomes that cushion once again for your knees. We are also going to bring our stool towards us, okay? So from here, place your towel under your knees and place your knees hip width distance apart. I'm going to be stretching more around the upper spine now. All right, it can affect a lot of us. The tightness, it goes to the upper spine because of bad sitting posture. Okay, so here's where we open up the front side of your spine. So have your stool right in front of you and have your arms outstretched this way, placing my palms on top. I'm gonna keep my arms straight and melt my chest down towards the ground, right? You may not be able to go this low. You might be stuck halfway, but you will already feel a very good stretch. That's where you start, okay? So holding it out there, we're gonna stay right there for about 8 breaths, okay? So you'll feel that stretch also around your shoulders. Your chest, your shoulders, your neck, and your back are very closely related. So sometimes just by stretching our chest, our upper back can feel a whole lot better. Our neck can actually feel a whole lot better. And then you breathe a lot deeper at the same time, right? When there's less tension there, you're not slouching or hunching or caving in your chest so much. It's a lot easier for you to breathe deeply. Right, we're going to stay here for just 2 more breaths, right? Like I said, on your own, 8 to 10 breaths for a start is good. 1 more breath. And then very slowly press down on your stool. Prop yourselves back up. You can walk your hands closer towards you as well. And come back into a sit. Relax your shoulders. Come back into that cross-leg sit once again. And just notice how you're seated now, how your back feels, how your shoulders feel. It doesn't take a lot of time for us to make a big difference to how we feel for the rest of the day. Unfortunately, if you allow your body to stay stagnant for too long, day in, day out, you keep telling yourself, I'll get started on stretching maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe next month, or maybe when I'm less busy. Oftentimes, that doesn't happen, right? So, you know what? Just tell yourself, I'm just going to try this for 5 minutes. I'm going to try 1 movement. Or I'm going to try just 2 movements. It does not have to be 1 full hour of a practice. And the honest truth is many of us do not have that 1 full hour to practice every day, not even once a week. So if you can only manage 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes a day, every other day, or maybe every day, even better still, it does add up. Okay, your body will thank you so much for it, right? Your ability to focus, your ability to enjoy your day-to-day activities is going to be so much greater, right? So do yourself that favor and just give it a try. You never know what you're going to expect and get out of it. I thank you once again, everybody, for joining myself and Sports Singapore for today's session of Yoga for Back Pain, and I hope to see you all again very soon. Thank you. Bye.